Welcome back. More and more studies are coming out saying that sex before marriage can actually hurt your relationship.
Some researchers are pointing to oxytocin as the super glue that helps us stick together.
Counselor Heather Beer with Valley Christian Counseling Center is here to help us sort through this issue. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So let's start with the basics. What is exactly oxytocin?
Oxytocin is, I believe, God's design for divorce-proofing our marriages. And we are kind of hardwired this way, and especially I'm speaking of women in this particular instance. Women have more oxytocin than men do, but men also have another hormone called vasopressin, which acts very similarly. But what happens is that oxytocin is present in the brain during 3 events of a woman's life. One is labor and delivery, and that serves to bond to the baby, you know, of course, essential for life. The other is breastfeeding, which also, you know, same thing. And so what happens is the oxytocin bathes the brain, and then as she's, you know, holding her baby, she's looking at her baby, and that where she's looking bonds her to her baby. And so because the feelings of love and protection and pardon me, and like I would lay down in the street for this baby.
Yes.
Like this is like a life-saving hormone that we have in our brains, and it's only been in the last like 14-15 years that people have really focused on this other part of how it bonds us to our husband or wife in intimacy, sexual intimacy. And you might have seen it. You can like Google cuddle hormone and things like that, and so it's kind of even been marketed as like, here's, you know, this feel-good cuddle hormone, which is totally a misuse.
Yeah.
Total misuse of it. But you know, even the oxytocin can be stimulated even just from cuddling or kissing or things like that. But when the act of intercourse is going on, then because 2 people are looking at each other, then that's the bonding mechanism. And then because the oxytocin is once again bathing the woman's brain, and then the bonding happens because of she's looking at her husband. So this kind of plays out in terms of what premarital sex is doing in regards to divorce down the road, long-term relationships.
So,
and
because it's so common, the friends with benefits kind of thing, you know, it's out there.
Right, for sure. And so that can kind of make our super glue not as sticky. And so I have a little demonstration, Chris, if you would help me with this.
So just to make sure, you're saying that
Yes.
all the premarital sex we were giving, where we're using up
our
oxy
stickiness.
Yes.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes, so when we're
sex.
bonded to another person through that deep intimacy, which our brains think is supposed to happen in marriage. You know, our brains don't know that we're not, like if we're 17 and we know with our high school sweetheart or whatever, our brain doesn't know that we're not with our lifelong partner, because that's what it's designed for, is to glue us to our lifelong husband or wife. And so then the stickiness after, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, they say the average is like 6 partners now across the United States before people get married. You know, it just decreases the bonding ability. And so
by the time we get married, we don't have as much stickiness.
We're not as sticky as we would.
Is it because you have a finite amount of oxytocin, or is there some other variable here?
It's not a finite amount. It's because you've bonded to other people, and that memory is still inside of you. And so, you know, we don't forget
It diminishes the impact of that emotional connection.
Yes.
God, I heard a great thing on Facebook the other day. It says, when sex becomes easy, love becomes hard.
Yeah.
Boy, that summed it up.
You know, they say that, I heard a abstinence education trainer say one time that when sex starts, like in a high school relationship or a college relationship, talking stops. Which is kind of the same thing.
All right, so we'll have the demonstration right when we come back. More on oxytocin.
Yeah.
Stay close.